Donald Trump just wrapped up a disastrous press conference in the Oval Office with the Iraqi Prime Minister. Donald Trump began by saying how handsome and attractive the Iraqi Prime Minister was, and then he proceeded to talk about taking all of Iraq's oil. He then confused Iran with Iraq, and he kept on talking about how he killed people in Iraq, and he wanted to know the Prime Minister's view. Are you happy with me that I killed these people along with the former Iranian general Soleimani? Is that a good thing? And then the Iraqi Prime Minister, is like, I'd like to look forward to the future. And Trump's like, oh, so we can take all of your oil though, right? We'll make music together and we'll take your oil. Let me show you what went down. Here, Donald Trump says the Iraqi Prime Minister is young and handsome. Here, play this clip.
And he's a young man. He's young and he's handsome, which I don't like. I'm not happy about it.
Then Donald Trump says that, I love Baghdad. We'll make music together and we will take all of your oil. Here, let's play this clip.
Look, Baghdad, I think, and I and this country, we're going to make some tremendous music together. We haven't been dealing very much over the last 4 or 5 years with the previous administration. Iraq has tremendous potential because of their oil and because of other things, but because of their oil. And we're going to be doing a lot of deals. We're going to create a lot of jobs for both countries. And we're going to be taking out a lot of oil. A lot of oil is coming out. And the American companies are doing it. Mostly American companies now. They don't want to do business with others. They want to do business with America, and that's good. And that's one of the reasons that I felt so strongly that this was going to be a great prime minister. And I fought for that.
Then Donald Trump gets very confused about the question that he's being asked, and he's asked about Iran, but then he starts talking about Iraq and American oil companies taking out all of the Iraqi oil. Here, play this clip.
Okay.
Sir, is the military attack on Iran, is this a strategy to bring them back to the table? Or is it to degrade them so the regime will eventually fall?
Well, we don't think we need the military there anymore. It's a very a big operation. And what we do have is the oil companies are all going in now, and they're doing partnerships with Iraq, and they're getting along very well. The relationship is a whole big relationship where we don't need the military there. We're there to help them. We're there to protect them if need be, but we don't think that's going to be necessary. And their primary, I consider an opponent. They might have considered a friend, but I consider that an opponent was Iran, was a big burden on Iraq because they were the bully of the Middle East, as you know.
Then he's asked some questions about Lindsey Graham, and then Donald Trump's like, don't get into all of these conspiracy theories, okay? We need to stop looking into that. Here, play this clip.
And when that bursts, which it did, it burst, there's not much. So I don't see a lot of evil there. I know there's all sorts of conspiracy theories going along, and I don't think the FBI, I think the FBI is wasting their time if they're doing that.
Then there was another question, but why is the FBI looking into it? Why does Kash Patel have dozens of FBI agents at Lindsey Graham's home in D.C.? What's their investigation about? Here, play this clip.
I could also ask, are you aware of why the FBI is looking into Senator Graham's death? Have you gotten any updates on why they were at his home?
Well, I don't know why, because I think, he had a problem. His father had a very similar problem, as you know. It's very unique. At first I heard it was clogged arteries, because he did have clogged arteries. He had a problem with that. He was, I wish he took better care of himself. I say, you can solve that problem, but what happened is actually something that's very hard to detect. It was not related to any blockage. It was a totally different thing. And supposedly, and I've watched all the medical reports, I've had the doctors from the White House come in and explain what happened. And this is something that is very, almost undetectable. And if it happens, there's not much you can do about it. It sounds unfortunate, but there's not much you can do about it. If you look at his father died of the same thing at about the same age. So there was not much. They say it's almost undetectable. You can detect it by if you have a very bad back. That's a sign. It's a bad sign. So if anybody has a bad back, it's a pretty rough thing to think about. But the fact that's one of the primary signs, and he would tell me he had a bad back. But little did anyone realize it was for that. So
then Donald Trump brags about killing the former Iranian general Soleimani. And then Donald Trump said, I also killed some really bad people from Iraq. Hey, what do you think about the people that I killed from Iraq? Now, you should note that this prime minister of Iraq has a very kind of delicate role right here. Donald Trump stopped Maliki from becoming the prime minister of Iraq, who was more closely aligned with Iran. We saw this Iraqi prime minister at Ayatollah Khomeini's funeral processions in Iraq, where we saw millions of not just the Shiite community, but millions of mourners show up in Iraq for the Ayatollah. And so Donald Trump saying this in front of the Iraqi prime minister also creates a very dangerous situation for the Iraqi prime minister. Here, play this clip.
Country, and I actually think the leaders of Iran were afraid of Soleimani, but I killed him. And by the way, with him went a very bad person also. They happened to be meeting each other at the airport, and a very bad person from Iraq happened to be a leader of Iraq, happened to be killed in that same incident. So I don't know if I did you a favor or not. I've never asked you that question. You probably would know better than me. But no, I think that what we've done to Iran is we've taken away almost all of their military capability.
President,
a question for Prime Minister.
Explain. He has to hear that.
A question.
Go ahead.
هو بيسأل عن قاسم سليماني وانه كيف تم قتله على يده في الولايه الاولى له في عندما كان رئيسا للولايات المتحده. فالفكره هو طبعا كان شخص ذكي جدا وعبقري، لكنه كان شرير بنهايه المطاف. في حادث استهداف وقتل عراقي كان في صحبته، كانوا يلتقوا في مطار في العراق في بغداد. فهو بيسأل هل هو كان عملكم خدمة أم لا؟ ما هي النظرة بالنسبة لمقتل سليماني؟
أنا في ذاك الوقت لا أمارس السياسة.
At that time I was not in politics.
وأريد كل جيتي نتحدث عن المستقبل إيش راح نسوي.
In my visit, I'd like to talk about the future.
شبعانين من ماضينا
Because
القديم.
now, we are fed up with the past.
Then Donald Trump talks about the press conference that's coming up in the White House on Thursday, which lots of people say it's about Donald Trump overthrowing the results of the 2020 election, and that Donald Trump is going to perhaps even try to claim that the senators from Georgia, Ossoff and Warnock, are not actually elected, and that Donald Trump's going to try to proclaim that he won. Donald Trump wants this to be a national address. No media company should be actually showing this. Here, play this clip.
can you give us sort of a sneak peek about what to expect and tell the
Well,
audience
I'd rather
in
save
America?
it. It will concern that subject. We'll have a couple of other things to
Why
say
should people
also.
watch, though?
But I'd rather save it, but it's really big news. It's really, really big news. And our country has to shape up. But that's what we're going to be talking about Thursday is it doesn't get bigger, because without free and fair elections, you don't have a country. We'll be discussing other things too, but it's going to be a very big announcement. Yeah?
Then Donald Trump brags about inflation, and he said, look how great we are. 3.5% headline inflation, everybody. Okay, that's more than it was under former President Biden. Play this clip.
But the report was incredible. Inflation is way down. That means prices are coming way down, and we're doing a great job.
President Trump,
Remember that for the midterms. I say to that camera, remember that, because nobody else could do it. Prices are way down. Prices are coming way down, and we're going to bring them much lower yet.
Also, the United States currently has the largest inflation of all G7 countries. Let's show that graph. Then Donald Trump is asked about the fee that he says he wants to charge tankers in the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, which today he backed away from. And then Donald Trump says, I don't like the concept of a fee, but at the same time, they're going to make trillions of dollars of investments. Here, play this clip.
On the prior question, the Hormuz Strait toll idea for you, that's dead now. That's completely gone.
No, I just told you, you have Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait, primarily, and then others. I spoke to all of them, and they would love to invest more money in the United States at record amounts, and that would be very acceptable. And this way, there's no fee. I don't like the concept of a fee, but at the same time, it's not fair that we're protecting this strait for the entire world, for China and everyone. I don't mind protecting it for China. I don't mind protecting it for anybody, but it's unfair that we're not in somehow compensated. And we've been doing this for many years. It's bothered me 25 years ago. It bothered me. During my first term, I was doing things like you have to invest in the United States. But by doing it that way, there's no fee. They're investing and they're getting a return on their money, and it's good. But they're going to be making massive investments into the United States, and I like that much better.
Then Donald Trump says that everybody at NATO likes him and that he's had everybody express their love for him in NATO. Here, let's play this clip right here.
I think we could go into this for a long time, and the bottom line is that we have a fantastic relationship with many countries now. I just came back from NATO. Many of you were there, and you saw how that worked out. It was a phenomenal, it was a love fest, to be honest, and they love the United States. They even like me, but they love the United States. And we're going to cut costs there by hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe. But the NATO event was incredible. Today's event is incredible. There's
And then Donald Trump proceeds to post AI images of himself with NATO nations and European countries, where he manipulates it and has these AI footages of him conquering Greenland and conquering Canada. And then Donald Trump said, I used to always say, don't attack Iraq. We got the wrong country. Here, play this clip.
Because if you remember, even though I was a civilian and had no thought of running for president, I get a disproportionate amount of publicity, as you probably heard. And I used to say, don't go into Iraq. Don't attack Iraq. Frankly, they attacked the wrong country. And they did a lot of damage.
And then Donald Trump proceeded to make posts saying, back in 1988, I talked about conquering Karg Island. Here, let me just show you this. There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.